Hey, it's Dr. Karen Can. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And as you can see behind me, I have the Wonder Woman 1984 poster, the free Zoom background from DC Comics. Woohoo! So, did you know that I wanted to be in that movie? Yeah, they had some contest. It was like for charity and stuff. And so I said, okay, I'm imagining myself in the movie, and I'm in the limo with Gal Gadot, and it didn't happen. But even though I'm a masterful manifester, I think God had other plans for me, and I totally understand why, given what's happened since then. But I did enjoy the movie, and I think one of the parts that before I get to the topic for today, but it links with it. One of the things I really like about this character that they have, that this actress plays in the Wonder Woman series, these couple of movies, three movies that she's been in, is that she obviously is a badass, right? Like she is strong, she's beautiful, but that's not why we really resonate with her. That's not why we really love her. We actually really love her because she's smart, she's wise, she's discerning, she's compassionate and empathetic. And there are scenes in the movie where she's like, trying to save the children, and it's totally inconvenient to do it, right? And it's like, I think that, if you look at what's going on in the world, you see a lot of things that are opposite to that, where like people are expendable, and I think the reason we love Wonder Woman, this character, so much is like she cries, and she has her moments of angst, and um but yet, I love the discerning moments as well, because there's this, I won't give the plot away, but there's this, guy who's like very suave and charming and, all this kind of stuff. And she's just looking at him like, interesting. Okay. Like she totally reads his energy. Like, I don't trust this guy, Whereas everyone else is like, oh, wow, he's so great. He's going to donate all this money. And, but I love that about this character, And but like I said, one of the things we love most about her is her vulnerability. Now, there's a couple of wonderful quotes that she has in the movie, but one of them, which I've of course made a meme out of with these backgrounds, is "Nothing good is born of lies, and greatness is not what you think." The other one was something like, "Sometimes you can't see what you're learning until you get to the other side." And how true is that? Right? How true is that? How many times have you been like, what's going on? This is crazy stuff. And then you realize that everything you've learned, whether it be to be resilient or to advocate for yourself or to stand up for yourself or do more self-care, whatever it is, you realize after the fact why that situation was really good for you. And I think that's what's happening, in the world right now. Sometimes when we look at it from the microscopic view, we think, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, right? But if we can kind of beam out to the macroscopic view, um, it can always be for your highest and greatest good, even though it doesn't seem like it is. And God has divine timing, or the source has divine timing. So, uh, and I'm not being religious here. It's just that sometimes, you want things to happen yesterday. I know I do. I'm human. I'm not the most, well, I'm pretty patient about many things, but some things I'm not patient about. And I think it definitely comes from that starseed part of me, the light being part of me. I have one of my souls that's a light being. And we just manifest like this. Of course, we didn't have human bodies or didn't need human bodies per se, but it was a thought and boom, that you were there, right? And so it like this in comparison is like super, super slow for us. And I think some of you starseeds out there are like, yeah, I know what you mean. Why is this so hard? Why is being in a human body so difficult? So there's this thing called divine timing. And many people are just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. As of this recording, which is a couple of days before it's launched on YouTube, um, you know, people are like, do we have any president in the United United States, or don't we have a new president? Like we're really confused here. Okay, because on the one hand they're impeaching Trump, and the other hand the generals are saying they're backing him and they're gonna like clean up the whatever garbage and the corruption and whatever. Like I think that we would be pretty naive to think that there isn't corruption in government, right? Like I mean, America's great and so is Canada, but could there be corruption in government? Yeah, there could be, right? Like a possibility, right? I think that, I mean, I used to be really, really naive. I admit it. I love to believe everyone, because I always told the truth and I was honest, as a child and growing up, but I really didn't have a reason to lie. I was a goody two shoes. Um, so, I always just trusted people for what they said. But here's the thing is, part of that was, that angelic soul that I have, as well as the light being soul, there was nothing not to trust, in that arena. But being human is very different. And so some of us sensitive souls don't have healthy boundaries. And so we can let people kind of step all over us. Or, I think my ex-husband used to laugh, at me because I was very gullible. Like people would tell me stuff and I'm like, oh, really? They're like, oh, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, you're so gullible. I was like, roll eyes, right? I roll again. So, but I am learning discernment. I am learning discernment. And the really cool thing about being a sensitive soul now is that I can use that sensitivity superpower, and you can as well, for that discernment, right? So just like Wonder Woman in the movie with, the so-called rich guy coming to donate, like she just looked like, no, she didn't look like negative, like, but she was just kind of going, we'll see. Like she just didn't like fall prey to his swooning whatever, like everyone else was like running around with chickens, like around him. Anyway, so I think that you can use that sensitive soul gift to feel into situations and see how it resonates with you. Of course, each of us have our biases, right? So I guess time will tell what's happening in the U.S. and the world. Is there civil war? Are we already in civil war? Is it a cyber civil war? I mean, there's all these kinds of things. What I do know for sure is that I think I'm getting pretty tired of the term conspiracy theorist. The reason is because I recently found out that it's a CIA term. I mean, it's a term that was popularized and weaponized, if you will, by the CIA. And so I wrote a little meme about that on Facebook, and I'll read it to you right now. It's a term popularized by the CIA to dissuade and discredit anyone who questions the government narrative after the groundswell of public skepticism of the Warren Commission's findings on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. So this is a while ago, right? CIA document 1035-960 was released in response to a 1976 Freedom of Information Act request by the New York Times. And in this CIA document, it clearly instructs CIA, the departments of the CIA to include or employ propaganda assets, to get these people to shut up. Okay, these conspiracy theorists to shut up. So it is actually legal in the United States to propagandize the American public. That means it's okay for the government to lie to the public. Like it's not illegal to do that. So I think that anyone who feels like there aren't secrets, in government or pharmaceuticals and corporations and backdoor deals and all that kind of, I think is really naive, like I used to be. And I fully admit I was very, very naive. But here's the thing is once I found out about some stuff that was going on, first of all, I went into a shock phase, and then I went into the scared phase. And Jack Nicholson, in the movie Good Men or whatever that is with Tom Cruise, he says you can't handle the truth, and of course they were talking about conspiracy as well there. And I have to say that was really true of me, that I couldn't handle the truth because I believed my church, my teachers, my parents, my government, I believe my association. So it was so shocking to just find out, like medical colleagues that, would give up their morals for a buck. Well, maybe $1 million, but to unlawfully and legally and unethically put their famous name on a scientific paper that a drug company then published, which was completely false. It was completely made up. Okay. The study was made up. And I'm like, how could you do that? How could you put your name or let them use your name on this study? And the only reason they caught it, Congress caught it was because these people evaded tax. So if they actually paid the tax, they probably wouldn't have caught them. So that was in the documentary Marketing of Madness. So that was like a whoa, shocking to me. And yeah, I couldn't handle the truth before, because my whole ideal world, idyllic, perfect, whatever world I was thinking where, all, priests and pastors are the good guys and, robbers are the bad guys. And I think there's actually quite a bit of gray in there. And I was very black and white. I did not like gray. And so what happens now is that I can see that, they're friends of mine, and I'm sure you have friends as well, who, when you even talk or even mention something that could be considered a conspiracy theory, even though you're like, it's not really a theory, it's like real, right? And they just go, oh my God, it's a conspiracy theory, don't get people into fear. And what happens is they jump into fear. And so we have to be really mindful about how we talk about stuff, and also don't assume it's a conspiracy either, right? Like if your computer is not working, to go, oh my, is this conspiracy? Somebody's like blocking my computer. Well, it could be, but like look into it, like be neutral, at least be curious. That's the best reaction. Okay, if you're gonna have a reaction, the best reaction to have is curiosity. Like, that's interesting. Some people are like, oh, it's got to be demons, right? Well, maybe. Let me look into it, right? So but you notice the difference in energy, right? Of somebody going, well, it might be entities, and might be this, right? That kind of energy is really going to push people away, definitely, and make them scared because they can't handle the truth, right? And I couldn't handle the truth not that long ago, right? So I empathize with them. So just be really careful about who, I'm not saying censor yourself, in terms of don't feel like you can speak freely, but just understand that some people will have a reaction to what you say, and it's not their fault, because, I'm sure there's something that you would react to as well, just like there's something that I would react to as well. So I did define what I call as conspiracy realist. So I got this term from David Icke, and watching his 13 episode of Revolution, I think, on Gaia, which was excellent, very, very good. So I wrote my definition of a conspiracy realist is a truth seeker who questions the mainstream narrative and does his or her own research as to its validity, understanding that it's perfectly legal for many governments to propagandize its people. They are realists in that they've uncovered that some conspiracies turn out to be real and some turn out to be false. But at the end of the day, they wish to uncover the truth because it's one of their core values. And I don't know if it's a core value for you, but truth is definitely, #truth is definitely a core value for me. And so because of the way I've written the post, could I get censored? Absolutely, I could. But at the same time, it was written in a vulnerable way, really sharing with people where I was at and how I've changed based on new information that's come through. Like I had no idea that my own, American Medical Association would stoop so low as to try to get rid of the chiropractic profession through these backdoor deals, um, because they were competition. And it just like, yeah, did it upset me when I heard about that? Absolutely, it upset me. And then, when things happen that are close to home, like one time a medical doctor wanted to meet with me, ask about my acupuncture training. I said, great, I'd be happy to, to talk with you about it. Because he said, well, I want to go to either this school or this school, and you went to this one, so I want to interview you. I said, sure. So I said, wow, you just work up in Messina. He goes, yeah, yeah. I had a multimodality clinic, and back then, I mean, it was pretty modern, right, to have a multimodality clinic with massage and nutrition, and I'm like, that's amazing. I was like, I said, why do you want to go back to school and be an acupuncturist? He says, one day, guns a blazing, state came in, confiscated stuff, shut my clinic down, and I said, why? He said, that's a good question. And I said, well, what were you doing that they were so upset with? He goes, well, we don't know for sure, but they tried to pull my license. And I'm like, for what? And he's like, all I can think about is that I was doing chelation therapy. So he was doing IV chelation. He was taking heavy metals out of people, and they were getting off the coronary bypass list. They no longer needed surgery. So it wasn't illegal to do that in New York State. You know, that IV chelation is actually legal. But his colleagues presumably had, especially the ones that were losing patients, probably reported him. And the state came in. I can't believe, I mean, can you believe that? With guns. Really? We're doctors, you know, clinic. Like they confiscated his vitamins. I mean, you know, and I was just sitting there listening to this man with my jaw open. Like, I can't believe that really happens here. Like, just 100 miles from here, you know? And and he said, yeah, and they bugged my house and opened my mail. And I was like, okay. And he says, well, luckily for me, I actually have a friend who I can't remember if his friend was in the FBI, used to be in the FBI or something. Anyway, so his friend came over and he found all the bugs and got rid of them. But it was an eye-opening experience, absolutely for sure. And I think God was telling me something like, be careful. Not to scare me at all, but just be, hey, we're giving you this heads up, you know? So now I kind of understand all these different experiences and, you know, seeing some of my colleagues that I love and respect, you know, being censored or being demonized. So I know, yeah, some conspiracies are real and some aren't. Some aren't. So each of you have to use your own discernment. So what I want to communicate with you that's really exciting this week is that thanks to the ascension process and our abilities through our attention and intention to be able to heal bigger and better, if you will, I've been able to midwife, if you will, the removal, dissolution, and deletion of a negative morphic field called the antitruth morphic field. So how does that work? Okay. So I want you to imagine, this is very simplistic, but I want you to imagine waves, you know, so waves crashing to shore, right? And what happens as they crash into the shore is that it bounces off the shore and it comes back, right? So you've got these waves now coming at each other. So when you have two waves that are on an upswing, what happens? The wave crest is twice as big, right? Because they're both these waves and they come together and they're twice as big. But what happens when you have a wave that comes up and a wave that goes opposite at the same time? What happens? You get stillness. So think of a positive morphic field or positive blueprint as that wave that's going up. Think of an anti-positive morphic field or a negative morphic field as one that cancels it out. So a positive morphic field is a positive field of energy, a blueprint. So there is a positive morphic field of truth, universal truth or truth. Okay, you can even feel it in your body. If you just close your eyes right now and just say truth, you can feel it resonating in your body. Now, for every positive morphic field there can be a negative morphic field to cancel it out. The negative morphic field, in this case, I'm just calling it anti-truth. Okay, it's not just instead of saying lies, because it's slightly different, but anti-truth. Okay, so what it does is it deletes the truth morphic field. And so this past week, what was really exciting with one of my clients, Marion and myself, and she doesn't mind me saying her name, we discovered that we had a role in deleting the anti-truth morphic field from all of humanity and the planet. Now, could there be pockets where somebody still has that in their own body because they need it? Yeah, for sure. Why do they need it? Well, because they have to figure it out. You know, we can't sometimes do someone else's spiritual work for them. But in the cases that we can help and we're allowed to help, Source allows us to help, we can do this kind of healing globally and worldwide and universal wide, if you will. Okay, so in this case, it was global. And that was super, super exciting to be able to delete, dissolve, and uncreate the negative morphic field that I call anti-truth. So what does that mean practically? Well, we're not for sure knowing how that's going to play out in the human realm. But what I can say is that it is more likely that the truth or divine truth will be revealed without this counteracting negative field pushing against it. And that is very, very exciting. So here's the thing. If you happen to do divine muscle testing, if you happen to do some Topican healing, even if you haven't done level 1, you can even test with divine muscle testing. Do I possess in this body or any other timeline the anti-truth morphic field? Still, okay, hopefully we've canceled it from you if you ever had it. But if you do, if you don't need to know more, okay, then you can just delete it. Just delete it. And then you can make sure that the positive one is in its place. So how you would do that is something like this. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly, how I'm saying it, but more or less in this fashion. I now command that the anti-truth morphic field be dissolved, deleted, and uncreated from me and all versions of me in the highest and best way, all directions of time with ease and grace. And the positive morphic field of truth be downloaded and activated with ease and grace. So what we did was took the bad one out and put the new one in, or the good one in, so to speak. And you can do this with every single positive morphic field you can think of. I mean, you could spend weeks doing it, of course. Sometimes not necessary because you already have it. Most people already have the positive morphic field of truth, love, divinity, power, bliss, whatever. And if you're part of the Light Warrior Network, currently on Facebook, I say currently because you may be moving to MeWe permanently, but right now, currently on Facebook and MeWe, I updated the clearing vortex that I had previously with some positive morphic fields, okay? And the positive morphic fields that I updated the clearing vortex with, because usually the clearing vortex is just there to clear negative energy. That's what it's there for. But it used to be called the Topican Healing Clearing Vortex or the Universal Shield. I've updated the name to the Universal Clearing Vortex. That's what it's called now. And so on Guide 2 in the Topican Healing Method, we downloaded the positive morphic fields of joy, peace, power, truth, acceptance, oneness, divinity. There may be other ones there, but and some other ones I can't remember. But anyway, so they're in there. So what you can do is just play the video. It's right there on the Facebook and MeWe groups at the top. Just play the video, just watch the video, and just allow it. Just give it permission to clean and clear whatever can clean and clear from you. It goes all the way down past the DNA level to the quantum level, and then all the way out into your sleep realms as well. And what you can also do is make the intention for it to clean and clear all versions of you and all timelines where you exist. And then if you would like to download this video clearing, it's very simple. Clearing with those positive morphic fields, as you know, or maybe you don't know, in Topican Healing, we can be very, very specific about what we put in, what we take out, all those kinds of things. But the Universal Clearing Vortex is very, very handy as a pick-me-up to clear your field. Maybe you don't feel good after, watching somebody else watch the news or whatever you were watching on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, then you can just go ahead, sit and watch it for those 30 seconds. And just like I said, just allow it to do any clearing for you. Feel your body while it's playing. And I put some music to it, but the music is not necessarily energy infused. The video is. So if you don't even have to listen to the music part of it, right? So you can just play the video and just watch it, and then I'll put the link below in case you want to download it to your phone or your PC. We're trying to figure out, I think Taylor's going to do it to make it an MP4 because I guess an MOV file the iOS people can't download to their phones, I guess. So just know that update will be coming, if not already done, by the time you see this video. So this is this is kind of an exciting time. It really is, even though it seems chaotic at times. One of the other quotes I want to share with you is from Les Brown, apparently, and I'm just going to read it off here. So Les says, "Do what is easy, and your life will be hard. Do what is hard, and your life will be easy." So just let that kind of sink in, because I think most people are doing whatever they can to do what's easy. But then, perceptually and what happens, things happen in their life. And it's really, really difficult um, to have that, have that faith. But you and I, the light warriors of the group, know already, yeah, we've had some challenges. You have some challenges growing up as a sensitive soul, and in those challenges, we become stronger. We become stronger. Just like, how does carbon makes up diamonds, right? But it also makes up a lump of coal and graphite. But if you look at all three, they look completely different. A lump of coal is just kind of a lump of black stuff, right? Graphite at least has some really cool looking, parts to it. It looks like a little ladder to me. And diamond, of course, is amazingly beautiful, but they're all made of carbon. But what's the difference? Well, the difference is the structure of the carbon. And how does it go from coal to diamond? It goes through intense amounts of pressure. So not all stress is bad. Some stress is good. It's just a way you perceive it in your life and how you work with it and go, wow, I don't know what good's going to come out of this, but there must be something, and just kind of work with that perception. So yeah, let me know in the comments below when you did that truth posomorphic field, or if you have been watching the Universal Clearing Vortex video, exactly how that feels in your body. I would love to know. And I'm sure some of you will message me or type in comments on the YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Because I'm sure some of you will have some great synchronicities, with this video. And if you're a highly sensitive soul and you're looking for some guidance, what I'd love for you to do is definitely get a copy of my book and get it on Amazon. Sensitivity is Your Superpower. And go to sensitivityisyoursuperpower.com to download your free gifts, one of which is the Sensitive Soul Rescue Remedy. So that's an MP4, MP3 that you can watch. And I go through a step-by-step clearing and healing, helping you to ground your energies, helping you to turn down your sensitivity, intensity, reactivity, etc., to balance your awareness. You're not aware of so much that is nothing to do with you. And I think that may be really, really helpful for your symptoms. So make sure you have that MP3 with remember, it's a freebie. So you do have to buy the book, but then you can get $1,000 worth of bonuses, and that is one of them. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that as well. So some announcements for this week is Monday, another healer is going to be on the show with me, Deepal Shah. She actually helped me with my book launch, the sweetheart that she is. She's an amazingly talented medical intuitive. So if you want some mini readings, we might be able to get some in on Monday. They can learn how to, how to heal yourself. And we're going to be talking about, karmic, karmic things and energy healing and all that kind of stuff. So she's one of the popular energy healers, and I was on her telesummit in the summer, if you recall, if you have been following me that long. So Deepal's a sweetheart, and I really look forward to interviewing her on the show on Monday. The other announcements is that if you have not already signed up for the Create Holistic Life, sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here. Create Holistic Happiness. Yeah, there we go. Summit, you definitely want to do that. And so I will put the link in near this video as well. And last but not least, we have another summit coming up. Actually, we have quite a few summits coming up. But the next one on the docket is Elevated Existence with Tammy Mastroberte, and that's already started. So definitely, register right now so you can listen to the free interviews. And I will be on, I believe, February 25th, and we're going to be talking about intuition then. Yes. So that's going to be exciting. And then, yeah, keep following me here on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, again, hit subscribe. And then if you don't have any of my freebies, definitely get one. Please get one. So stillnessonthefly.com is one of my freebies I'd love to give away. So is the training on how to be still, which is very, very important. And it's not like your typical meditation thing, because stillness on the fly means you can be feeling your body and doing something else and still be in the state of mind stillness, which is really, really cool. And I find it very, very convenient, and I like to be very busy, so I'm not very committed to sitting there for, long periods of time meditating. I'd rather meditate on the fly. So if you'd like to learn that, you can go to stillnessonthefly.com. And so I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Until then, lots of love and bye for now.